This episode has been brought to you by My Extraordinary Productions. Let's shoot your next audition. Click the link in the description to learn more. Congratulations! You want to be a better person so you don't have to do the work anymore. That's a lie. It's always work, but it's worth it. But in all seriousness, good for you for realizing you could handle certain situations better than you have been handling them. A lot of flaky people promise to go to events that they don't actually make it to, and if they acknowledge that they're not going to show up, it's usually a last-minute cancellation. Maybe you wanted to be a hero of the moment. Maybe this seemed like such a good thing, and you were really intent on doing it, but at the last minute, something came up, or you just realized you couldn't actually make it there. Some people out there have to change their schedule at the drop of a hat. And some people, when they are agreeing to things through text or through email, because they don't have the one-on-one conversation and they're not verbally agreeing to whatever it is, it's just so much easier to forget about it or to think, oh, it's not a big deal if I don't show up. You can only be in one place at a time. And you probably want to be both physically and mentally present when you are there. Also, the thing requires time, and getting to the thing requires time, and coming home from the thing requires time, and parking for the thing or other transportation, it all takes time. A major part of figuring out these sort of patterns in your behavior is to have a calendar of some sort. Have a calendar and make sure that you're not double booking yourself, or that you've got enough time to make it from point A to point B. Over time, you may begin to realize certain patterns through this calendaring, such as Thursdays are always terrible, or Sundays you're technically not doing anything, but you really need that rest time. And Tuesday turns out to be the best day because you have the energy and the time. Another pattern you may recognize is within your own circadian rhythm. You may discover that you're super productive from 9 to 11 and that 3 o'clock is just the worst hour to get you to do anything. Now, if you just moved to Los Angeles, you may notice that 1, we talk about traffic way too much, but 2, there are certain traffic patterns at play, and you may recognize that rush hour is typically 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., and it takes so long to get from point A to point B that you may be better off scheduling an 11 o'clock appointment instead of a 10:30 appointment. Finally, patterns can also emerge in how you want to budget your time. Like, whenever I drive to Hollywood, I have to budget 10 minutes for parking. And if I'm going to a party, I need to spend at least 90 minutes there, otherwise it just doesn't feel right to me. Otherwise, it means that this party sucked. Now that you have these patterns, you may realize that you can do 3 things in a day. You can even occasionally do 4 things in a day, but you know it is really unfair to start promising 4, 5, 6 things in a day on a regular basis because you're only going to get 3 things done. It's not fair to the people around you. It's also not fair to yourself. If you're only going to get 3 things done anyway, just schedule the 3 things. Don't feel bad about anything else. You need to prioritize now, which means you may decide school is most important, followed by work, followed by family. Or your social life is the most important, your work supports your social life, and your school is just something to do. The order doesn't matter. What matters is that you know the order. You also need to prioritize these little micro categories. So for example, for work, you may want to work with your friends, but if Brad Pitt gives you a call, you may decide this is too good an opportunity to turn down, and if your friend is a good friend, they will understand. If 2 opportunities are pretty neck and neck, you may decide it makes more sense to go with a first-come, first-served basis, so whoever scheduled you first gets you first. Saying yes to one thing means saying no to something else, or saying no to something means saying yes to something that's better for you. Now, it may be really hard to directly communicate that you're going to have to cancel on someone or that something may be coming up because you don't want to disappoint whoever you're going to have to disappoint, but you need to decide, is it better to disappoint this person a little now when they can, come up with a workaround, come up with a replacement, figure out their own things? Or would you rather wait until the last minute when it's too late for them to find someone else and the problem is worse? Now, you can be in an ambiguous situation where you have 2 employers who are both interested in hiring you. In that case, it is okay to say to both of them, hey, I am interviewing with another company at the moment. I will be able to give you a more solid answer once I've had both interviews. You can also say to your friends, hey, look, I really want to do this thing with you, but I've got this really important gig that may be happening on Wednesday. If it happens, I'm going to be there, but if they fall through, I'd be more than happy to do your thing with you. If they're really your friends, they want you to be successful. Now let's pretend you have an offer that you are just genuinely not interested in taking. You can watch my video on how to decline work while staying friends with these people, but that may not be the correct situation. If that doesn't fit your specific situation, you can always say something more broad and open like, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it to that. Honestly, a lot of people don't really care about what you're doing. People really care about whether or not you're showing up. Now, sometimes you have to cancel. It may be the day of, the week of, the month of, but you have to cancel. The sooner you can do it, the better. Once again, you're giving people extra time to figure out their new plan, but on top of that, if you've been giving these people hints that, hey, you may not actually be able to make it to this thing, then they're not going to be that upset when you have to cancel because you got the thing. In fact, you may be seen as more of a professional because you were communicating very directly this whole time. When it comes to canceling, yes, sometimes a tree falls on your house. Sometimes you get a flat tire. Sometimes you get sent to the hospital. And it sucks. The important thing is that it really is a genuine fluke occurrence. It's not a repeating pattern. The repeating pattern is what makes people think of you as a flake. By communicating directly, you can manage some expectations. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Follow me on social media. If you have a question, leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. I won't flake on you, I promise. I'll be here.